Welcome to In Frame Out's Year in Film, where we take stock of 12 months of spectacular cinema and unfortunate rubbish. This year has been overflowing with films I truly adored. After creating a long list of 37 wonderful slices of cinema, I began the agonizing process of narrowing it down to an absolutely in no way definitive top 10 films of the year. Today we raise a glass to entries 10 through 6 of In Frame Out's Best Films of 2018.
I don't know what to tell you. Look, you could stab me in the leg if you wanna.
Films directly based on video games are almost universally terrible. There's something about game mechanics and interactive narrative engagement that just doesn't jive with the cinematic medium. Why am I bringing all this up? Well, Upgrade may be the best video game film ever made that has no direct ties to gaming. Let me explain. After a brief tutorial in which our hero learns how to control his own body, our protagonist begins to level up his skills and abilities as he follows a central questline involving AI, super soldiers, and a murky conspiracy that goes all the way to the top. It's the best Deus Ex film you could ever hope to make, albeit without the name or associated baggage of 30 years of buggy, broken video game adaptations. The choreography of the fight scenes has a geography often missing from such fast-paced fisticuffs, and the story itself is a confident cyberpunk noir. What could have been a guilty pleasure is instead one of the year's most humble successes.
What's with the new attitude, Dixon? Your mama been coaching you?
No. My mama doesn't do that.
3 Billboards is a fertile fusion of gallows humour, deftly handled drama, and scalding social commentary. The politics of blame, culpability, and restitution are shot through a prism of empathy that makes each character, while not necessarily likeable, vividly painted enough to accept. There are a few contrivances towards the film's end that I could have lived without, but a misstep or two can be forgiven when everything else is so rewarding and worthy of commendation. Grandstanding is eschewed in favour of collaborative performance, and it pays off with every coarse exchange and drop of tar black truth. A film that manages to turn each tonal whiplash into an unbridled triumph.
I don't think that anybody can grow unless he really is accepted exactly as he is.
The feel-good film of 2018 isn't an animated odyssey or a romantic comedy. It's a documentary charting the rise of Fred Rogers, the eccentric and too earnest for this world mastermind of Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. Whereas most celebrity come pop culture fixation documentaries probe the murky off-screen lives and ideological downfalls of their subjects, here we have the rarest of achievements, a kind-hearted record of an honest-to-goodness decent person whose mission in life was to slow things down, help children, and make the world a more inclusive, open-minded place regardless of religion or political affiliation. The closest thing to a villainous presence here are Fox News pundits decrying Mr. Rogers for telling children that they're worthy of love regardless of their means or intellectual standing. A testament to education as an art form, and a comforting film in trying times.
He didn't tell you the truth, right? So how do we get to know? How do we go beyond what the person is telling us?
An unflinching and repulsive account of an adult realizing her first romantic encounter was the methodical grooming and abuse she was subjected to as a child. The way the airbag of nostalgia gives way to the pulverizing horror of what actually happened is expertly handled, as are the visual and narrative allusions to the fallibility of memory. The tale definitely refuses to be a film solely about victims and villains. There's a real sense of reckoning for writer-director Jennifer Fox with not only her harrowing personal trauma, but with sexual assault, rape, and consent as a wider societal issue that is rarely addressed with such emotional dexterity. Laura Dern is revelatory, peeling away at the many layers of realization with an aplomb and tact that once again proves her as the secret weapon of American cinema. Difficult to stomach, impossible to ignore, and immeasurably important.
I don't know, it's our anniversary today and I've got to go get a dildo cam shoved up my twat by Dr. Dornick, so can we just not talk about this right now?
For every critical mauling levelled at Netflix film slate, it's easy to forget the creative freedom it affords without the fear of limited distribution and studio interference. Private Life may be the best film the service has ever released, and one that plays to its strengths. The shared intimacy of watching in the comfort of your own home lent an endearing closeness to this devastating, yet intermittently hilarious examination of fertility in middle age. Catherine Hahn is finally given a feature-length platform for her extraordinary dramatic talent, and Paul Giamatti is as reliably wonderful as ever. This is Tamara Jenkins' first directorial effort since the criminally overlooked The Savages. Let's just hope it isn't another 11 years for her next masterpiece. However long the wait, it'll be worth it. And those were entries 10 through 6 of our best films of 2018. Join us next week for entries 10 through 6 of our worst films of the year. So what are your favourite films of the year? Hit us up in the comments if there's anything we've missed so far. Feel free to like, share and subscribe, and once again, thank you for watching. Until next time, this is In Frame Out.